I'd like to provide an update from the River Forecast Center on current conditions and expectations as we come through these next storm events. We've seen the first of these storms and atmospheric rivers come through over the last day and a half with heavy rainfall through the south coast, lower mainland. Observing rainfall amounts in the 50 to 90 millimeter range through many parts of the area. Temperatures were fairly cool, and so we did see additional snow accumulation, particularly at mid-elevations, and that's actually of additional concern as we come into the next events, having snow that we can see melt during the next series of storms. So at the moment, we're tracking an additional 2 atmospheric river events that are expected to reach the coast of BC over the coming days. The first of these is on the Saturday into Sunday period, followed by an additional one that is anticipated early next week on Tuesday. So we do have a short period of recovery in the rivers over the next 24 hours or so. And we're seeing the rivers have peaked from last night and are dropping. And really we're moving now into these next series of storms. At the moment, we remain in a flood warning state along the Sumas Prairie region. There's a flood watch out for the Sunshine Coast, Howe Sound, Sea to Sky, North Shore, and Lower Mainland areas in relation to conditions anticipated over the weekend. We're actively monitoring conditions on the Nooksack River. We saw again in the flows last night to be lower than were being forecast earlier from the Northwest River Forecast Center. But the risk of overbank flooding along the Nooksack River is a potential as we go into this weekend, particularly the storm on Sunday. A flood watch has been issued by the U.S. National Weather Service for Whatcom County, including the Nooksack River. And information that we've received from Whatcom County has indicated that the diking system along the Nooksack does have damage from the flooding last week. They're actively working on repairs to that. We're obviously watching that very closely. But in general, we are seeing that information coming out from the U.S. is that there is that increased risk of getting the Nooksack back up to bank full or overbank level. So there is risks as we go through this weekend to see additional floodwaters coming from the Nooksack into the Sumas River drainage. That will really be a risk through Sunday. We're going to actively monitoring that situation, and as we get into the weekend, continuing to update information from that. The third system, or the system looking at Tuesday, is starting to get picked up on long-range forecasts and is in training a lot of kind of heat and moisture from the far side of the Pacific Ocean around the Philippines, and is looking to have a fair bit of potential in terms of severity of rainfall amounts. At this point, there's still a fair bit of uncertainty of where that system is going to make landfall in the Tuesday period, but it's certainly looking that there's a potential for a fairly decent storm cycle. Warm temperatures, again, seeing that potential for snowmelt as well as heavy rainfall. So that's over the Tuesday, Wednesday period. Obviously, we're going to be watching that. And through the weekend, we'll have much more kind of certainty on where the trajectory of that storm is. So at the moment, it's focused in terms of areas on the coastal areas, but we have seen it kind of model run to model run, as well as different model runs coming out of weather forecasting from the U.S. to have different resolutions on that, where that's going to make landfall. So we could see additional risks next week associated with the third storm, both in and around the coastal areas of BC, but also potentially back into the Nooksack River.